The lights dim in the grand hall of the Kremlin. A figure approaches the podium with calculated precision, each step echoing through chambers that have witnessed the rise and fall of empires. Vladimir Putin adjusts the microphone, his steely gaze scanning the assembled crowd of diplomats, journalists, and officials. But what they're about to hear isn't just a speech. It's a masterclass in coded communication that will send shockwaves through intelligence agencies worldwide. As Putin begins to speak, every word has been meticulously chosen, every pause calculated, every gesture deliberate. To the untrained ear, it sounds like standard political rhetoric. But hidden beneath the surface lies a complex web of messages, some meant for domestic consumption, others targeting foreign adversaries, and still others designed to communicate with shadowy networks, operating in the darkness of international espionage. The translator's voice carries Putin's words to the world, but something crucial is lost in translation. Not just linguistic nuance, but layers of meaning that can only be understood by those who know how to listen. References to historical events that aren't random. Metaphors that carry weight beyond their apparent meaning. Numbers and dates that form patterns visible only to those initiated in the Kremlin's secret lexicon. Tonight, we pull back the curtain on one of the most sophisticated communication systems in modern politics. We'll decode the hidden language that Putin uses to project power, intimidate enemies, and coordinate with allies across the globe. From subtle biblical references that signal to orthodox networks, to chess terminology that communicates strategic intentions, to seemingly innocent phrases that activate sleeper cells and influence operations worldwide. But be warned, once you learn to hear what Putin is really saying, you'll never listen to a political speech the same way again. The rabbit hole goes deeper than you imagine, connecting dots between seemingly unrelated global events and revealing a level of strategic thinking that operates decades ahead of conventional political wisdom. This isn't conspiracy theory. This is the reality of how power communicates in the shadows of the 21st century. Subscribe, call to action. Before we dive into this incredible investigation, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. We're about to reveal secrets that mainstream media won't tell you, and you won't want to miss a single revelation. Now, let's decode Putin's secret language. Understanding Putin's communication strategy requires us to first grasp the fundamental principle that guides every word he speaks publicly. Nothing is accidental. In the world of high-stakes geopolitics, where a single misinterpreted phrase can trigger international incidents or market crashes, every syllable carries weight. Putin, trained in the Soviet intelligence apparatus, understands this better than perhaps any leader in modern history. The foundation of Putin's secret communication lies in what intelligence experts call layered messaging. On the surface level, his speeches address immediate political concerns, economic policies, international relations, domestic issues. But embedded within these surface messages are deeper layers that speak to different audiences simultaneously. It's like a sophisticated radio transmission that broadcasts on multiple frequencies at once. Consider Putin's frequent use of historical references. When he mentions the Battle of Stalingrad, Western analysts often dismiss it as routine Russian patriotism. But to trained listeners, the specific way he frames these references carries tactical information. The year he chooses to emphasize, the particular generals he names, even the order in which he presents historical events. All of these elements form a coded language that communicates strategic intentions to military commanders, intelligence, operatives, and allied governments. The numerical patterns in Putin's speeches reveal another layer of this hidden communication system. Intelligence analysts have identified recurring number sequences that correspond to operational codes used by Russian intelligence services. When Putin mentions specific economic figures or timeframes, these aren't always literal data points. Sometimes they're coordinates, dates for planned operations, or signals to activate predetermined contingency plans. Language itself becomes a weapon in Putin's hands. His use of specific Russian words that have multiple meanings allows him to communicate different messages to domestic and international audiences simultaneously. A phrase that sounds conciliatory in English translation might carry threatening undertones in the original Russian, visible only to native speakers familiar with cultural and historical context. The timing of Putin's speeches provides another crucial element of his communication strategy. The dates he chooses for major addresses, the global events they coincide with, and even the time of day he speaks all form part of a larger messaging system. Intelligence services worldwide maintain databases tracking these patterns, looking for correlations between Putin's public appearances and subsequent geopolitical developments. Putin's body language and vocal patterns add yet another dimension to his coded communications. Trained in the psychological manipulation techniques of the KGB, he uses subtle physical cues to reinforce or contradict his verbal messages. A slight change in posture might signal confidence or uncertainty. Variations in speaking pace can indicate the relative importance of different topics. Even his choice of clothing and accessories carries symbolic weight in the complex visual language of international diplomacy. The most sophisticated aspect of Putin's communication strategy involves what experts call negative messaging. Information conveyed through deliberate omissions rather than explicit statements. What Putin chooses not to mention, the topics he avoids, and the words he deliberately doesn't use often communicate as much information as his actual statements. This technique allows him to send signals while maintaining plausible deniability. Recent technological advances have added new dimensions to Putin's communication toolkit. Digital steganography techniques can embed hidden data within video broadcasts, allowing for the transmission of encrypted information during live speeches. Subtle manipulations of audio frequency, invisible to casual listeners but detectable by specialized equipment, can carry additional data streams alongside the main speech content. The international intelligence community has developed sophisticated countermeasures to decode Putin's hidden communications. Advanced artificial intelligence systems analyze every aspect of his public appearances, from linguistic patterns to micro-expressions, building comprehensive models of his communication strategies. These systems have successfully predicted several major Russian policy shifts by identifying subtle changes in Putin's messaging patterns. But Putin's team continuously evolves their techniques to stay ahead of these detection systems. They employ professional linguists, psychologists, and even magicians to develop new methods of hidden communication. The result is an ongoing arms race between those trying to send secret messages and those trying to intercept them. The implications of Putin's secret communication system extend far beyond mere political intrigue. These techniques have been adopted by other authoritarian leaders worldwide, creating a shadow network of coded communications that operates parallel to official diplomatic channels. Understanding these systems becomes crucial for democracies seeking to maintain transparency and accountability in international relations. The psychological impact of Putin's communication strategy shouldn't be underestimated. By creating uncertainty about the true meaning of his words, he generates an atmosphere of perpetual ambiguity that keeps both allies and adversaries off balance. This uncertainty becomes a strategic advantage, allowing Russia to maintain multiple policy options while keeping the international community guessing about its true intentions. Recent developments in quantum computing and advanced cryptography may soon revolutionize the landscape of secret political communications. Putin's team is reportedly investing heavily in these technologies, potentially creating communication methods that could remain undetectable for decades. The implications for global security and democratic oversight are profound. The ethical dimensions of decoding political communications raise important questions about privacy, sovereignty, and the balance between transparency and security. While democratic societies have legitimate interests in understanding the true intentions of potentially hostile leaders, the techniques used for interception and analysis also pose risks to civil liberties and diplomatic norms. Looking forward, the evolution of Putin's communication strategies will likely continue, adapting to new technologies and changing geopolitical landscapes. As artificial intelligence becomes more sophisticated, both the encoding and decoding of hidden political messages will become increasingly complex. The future of international relations may depend partly on which side maintains the advantage. In this invisible war of words and meanings, the story of Putin's secret communications is ultimately a story about power itself, how it operates in the shadows, how it adapts to new challenges, and how it shapes the world in ways that remain largely invisible to the general public. By understanding these hidden dimensions of political communication, we gain crucial insights into the real mechanics of international relations and the true nature of power in the modern world. As we've seen today, Putin's speeches are far more than political theater. They're sophisticated communication instruments that operate on multiple levels simultaneously, conveying different messages to different audiences while maintaining the appearance of straightforward political discourse. The ability to decode these hidden meanings provides a window into the strategic thinking of one of the world's most influential leaders. The next time you watch a Putin speech, remember what you've learned here today. Listen not just to what he says, but to what he doesn't say. Pay attention to the patterns, the references, the timing, and the context. Because in the world of high-stakes geopolitics, the most important messages are often the ones that are never spoken aloud. This has been our investigation into Putin's secret language. The truth is out there, hidden in plain sight, waiting for those who know how to look for it. Until next time, keep questioning, keep analyzing, and never assume that what you hear is all there is to know.